Build Your Business listeners. This is Matt Reynolds, your host for the podcast, and you are listening to what we are calling the legacy episodes. And really, these are the pre-episodes that really led to this podcast, the Build Your Business podcast. This is really my life's work and my brother's life's work in building your business. And so they were originally published in the Barbell Logic podcast as part of the Principles or Coaching Success series, but really touch on similar topics to the Build Your Business podcast: how to improve your productivity, how to set and accomplish your goals, deprioritize urgent tasks, to focus on what is most important to you, and most importantly, to become a better person and leader and business owner overall. I'm proud to bring you these podcasts. Again, many years of life's work, several years of podcasts, and several decades of business ownership. Hope you enjoy them and learn from them. You're listening to Barbell Logic,
the podcast where we talk about what it means to experience strength
and how you can use simple, hard, and effective strategies in training and nutrition to improve your life.
It starts with meeting you where you are right now and finding lasting solutions.
Welcome to the show. You're listening to the Barbell Logic podcast. This is another episode of the Coaching Success series. Hey, happy Friday, everybody. I hope you've had a great week. I just want to dive right in. I was thinking a lot about this lately, and here it is. If the outcome is going to be uniquely successful, then you know it has to be uniquely hard. We have to stop making excuses. At some point, we just have to be disciplined enough to take on voluntary hardship. And let me just for a second tell you that I'm preaching to myself more so than I am speaking to anyone out there that is listening to this. This is a thing that I still struggle with all the time. And people will look at me and say, you're so disciplined and you do these voluntary hardship things. And the reality is, it's like I said, it's not hard for me to get up early and it's not hard to work. I enjoy my work. It's hard to train. It's hard to train consistently. It's hard to do cardio. It's hard to eat correctly. It's hard to not order DoorDash. It's hard to lay off the alcohol. It's hard to make intentional time for my family. That's hardship for me. And that doesn't mean that business isn't hard, because business is incredibly hard. And we'll dive into that just a little bit. This will be a shorter episode. I hope it is an episode that really spurns action and isn't just something that we listen to. And so I say that because I actually want to start this episode really with a quote from Alex Hormozi that I heard on the Modern Wisdom podcast, which is with Chris Williamson. Excellent podcast. I think he's got a ton of great guests. He's down in Austin now, English guy. And I love Hormozi. I think that if you're not careful, I've met people that like Hormozi so much that they consume all his content and watch all his videos and follow him on all of social media and read his books and then never really put any of it into action. They're all in. They can speak the language, but they don't do the thing. And this is an episode about doing the thing, right? Even to myself. And this was the quote that I heard that struck me. When things get hard, this is where most people stop. And this is why they don't win. Getting strong and in shape or building a business, a successful business, is hard. And hard feels shitty. This is what hard feels like. And that's why most people can't do it. But you can. Maybe. Maybe you can. Maybe you're listening to it and it's not you. Again, I'm preaching to me. When you think about the thing that you really want, when I think about the things that I really want to accomplish, like the successful business, the big business exit, the grandkids, being surrounded by my family at Thanksgiving with children and grandchildren and a big family, all of those things, right? As the jacked grandpa, right? Whatever that thing is that you really want to accomplish, like even just pick one thing. What is the thing that you really want to accomplish in this life that is the thing that maybe you're the furthest away from right now? Do you think accomplishing it will be easy? You knew it was going to be hard. You know it's going to be hard. So when you muster the courage to take on the voluntary hardship, and then it actually really gets hard, and this is the thing, like taking on the courage to take on the voluntary hardship, the first workout is not that hard. Like, okay, it's sure, there's a thing that occurs there, right? Or the eating one clean meal. is not very hard, but it's the consistency. Getting up early one morning and doing work, but it's doing this for decades. At some point, it gets really hard. So hard, in fact, that you will want to quit. But that's what hard feels like. And so at some point, you have to reset your expectations to really hard to match the conditions that you're in. Life is just really hard for those of us who have chosen the path of voluntary hardship. We see people all around us who never choose this, and they die not an ounce better than they were when they were 18 years old, right? And we choose something better. When we realize that their expectations match the reality, that really hard feels really shitty, and this is what this is, and that is the new normal, then we finally come into alignment with like what we're actually trying to do. Like, okay, this is actually a good thing. Like it should feel shitty. Hard doesn't feel good, right? This is why almost every successful business person that had to start a business that eventually succeeded said if they had to go back and do it all over again, they don't know if they would or they could. I don't know that I could, right? But the reality is that that person didn't stop when it got hard. They pushed into something that was unbelievably uniquely hard. And the outcome then is uniquely successful because they didn't choose the path just less traveled, but worse, they chose the path through the jungle, overgrown with thistles and thorns and predators because they saw the beach on the other side, or they didn't even see the beach. They believed the beach. They believed there was an opportunity for a beach. They believed there's a chance at a beach on the other side, right? I mean, I literally think about like Lewis and Clark having gone from east to west across the United States with everything that they had to see and encounter. Like, bro, don't you know there had to be times that they were like, this was a terrible idea. Let's move back. But they chose this thing. This is the outcome. We think that we're going to get to the other side at some point, or we're going to arrive in the Indies or whatever they thought, right? And it's got to be the same with us. And so one of the things I've been thinking about a lot lately is, and I want to be careful here because I don't want to make this political, but it's this concept of like self-love and self-acceptance. And so I saw this as well. And then I don't think this is a quote from Hormozi, but I kind of picked this up from the podcast too. And it's this idea that the truest form of self-love is holding yourself to a higher standard than anyone else does, or looking at the 85-year-old man that you want to be and the difference between that guy and what you are now. That's the gap that must be the chasm that must be crossed. So self-acceptance is bullshit. You accept circumstances and you accept outcomes. That's definitely from Hormozi. You accept circumstances and you accept outcomes, but accepting yourself for exactly who you are is wrong. And it's led to a plethora of the cultural problems we see today. And I'll leave it at that. And so when I look at my life, we've talked about this a ton, it takes an incredible amount of self-awareness and go, okay, what are the things I'm good at? Good, great. I can get up in the morning and do the work. What are the things I suck at, but that I really want to be good at? Well, I want to be really healthy. I want to live to 85 or 90 or 100 to see my grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I want to be surrounded by my family in my old age. What am I doing that's not getting me there? Well, I'm eating crap and I don't train consistently and I drink too much alcohol. And like, okay, well, that has to change. Like, I just have to accept that I really like to order DoorDash, or I really like bourbon, or I really like to not train very hard, or just maybe exercise a little bit to get hot and sweaty and feel good. Like, whatever that thing is, like, to me, that's the hardship. It's not doing the things that other people see as hard, but you like find easy, getting up at 4 a.m. That's easy for me. I just wake up at 4 a.m. For some of you, that would be brutal. And then I see other people that are I have clients who have never missed a workout. I mean, guys and ladies who have done 1,000 workouts plus and have literally never missed a workout. That ain't me. I wish it were, want it to be. So at some point, I have to take on the voluntary hardship and understand, like, okay, I've got to be disciplined for a bit. And then I'm probably going to get motivated for a bit. And then at some point, that's either going to turn into habit and it's not going to be that hard anymore. Or more than likely, I've got to go through a valley of suck. I have to go through the valley of where it feels shitty. And I have to decide that this is what hard feels like, and that's okay. That's the thing you accept. You accept that hard feels shitty, and you push through anyway. And when you do that, then the result is uniquely successful because the work was uniquely hard. That's what sets us apart. That's your episode for today for the Coaching Success Series. I hope you take this and run with it. I know I'm going to. I'm going to get off this podcast. I'm recording this early in the morning. I'm going to go have a protein shake, and I'm going to go train because I'm going to try to walk the walk of the same thing that I speak. So hope you do too. Think about that thing that you're trying to accomplish. Understand how hard it's going to be. Understand the time periods of suck that you're going to have to get through to get there. And we'll talk some more next week. We'll see you next Friday. Hope you have a great week.